Hello, I'm Luna, the sleeping fairy of the humming planet. Tonight, I have a gentle story just for you. If you're ready, let's begin. Have you ever imagined what it would be like if you could see feelings, not just faces or voices, but real feelings, floating around people like colours in the wind? Wouldn't that be the most curious kind of magic? Well, deep on the humming planet, where dream crystals sparkle, there stood a very special place called the Dream Factory. And inside this dream spinning factory lived a boy named Charlie. Charlie was clever, Charlie was loud, and Charlie loved to make everyone laugh, even if sometimes his jokes were a bit wobbly, like jelly on a trampoline. One sunny morning, Charlie tiptoed through the factory halls, always up to something silly. He spotted the old owl perched quietly on a branch with a book the size of a suitcase. "You're like a talking book with blank pages," Charlie hooted with laughter. The owl didn't mind. He simply blinked slowly, like someone watching clouds pass. Then Charlie spotted the lion, brushing his wild golden mane in front of a mirror. "Your hair looks like a tornado came over for tea." Charlie laughed again, louder this time. But this time, the lion didn't laugh. In fact, his eyes drooped, and his tail stopped swishing. "I groomed my hair for 2 whole hours," the lion whispered. "I thought it looked nice." A nearby bunny leaned in gently. "Don't listen to him. You look great. It's just Charlie. He never thinks about how others feel, does he?" Charlie overheard. His ears twitched. But instead of feeling sorry, he shrugged and muttered, "Just a joke." That evening, as the sun tiptoed behind the hills and painted the sky in sleepy pinks and purples, the dream factory began to flicker. Then, poof, all the lights blinked out. In the sudden swirl of shadows, the animals huddled together, whispering to make sure everyone was safe. Everyone except Charlie. He was still in the loo, and when he finally stepped out, the factory was quiet. Too quiet. No giggles, no roars. Charlie's footsteps echoed as he walked down the empty hallway. His heart, which was usually bouncing like a rubber ball, suddenly felt heavy. "They didn't wait for me," he murmured, puzzled. "Did I do something wrong?" Outside, the night stretched out like a velvet blanket. Charlie wandered through the streets, kicking a pebble as he went, not really sure where he was heading. And just when he thought the night couldn't get any stranger, there it was, a shop, a tiny one. It hadn't been there yesterday, or the day before that, or ever. Charlie blinked. He took a step closer. The door creaked open all by itself. Curious as a cat, Charlie stepped inside. The air smelled like warm paper and old wood in the shop. Dim lanterns swayed gently from the ceiling, casting golden pools of light on the floor. Wooden shelves lined the walls, each one a little crooked, like they'd been standing there for 100 years and had forgotten how to be straight. The counters were made of wood, with edges worn smooth from years of curious fingers tapping and tracing. Rows and rows of peculiar glasses stood proudly on the shelves, some shaped like stars, others with swirls that shimmered like ice on a window pane. But one pair caught his eye. They were small and round, with golden rims that shimmered ever so slightly. One small tag was tied to the glasses. It said, "Glasses for seeing how people feel." Charlie's fingers tingled as he picked them up, Suddenly, a voice echoed in his mind. "Charlie never thinks about how others feel, does he?" His cheeks grew warm. Was that true? He placed a few crumpled coins on the counter and, with the glasses in his hand, stepped back out into the moonlit street. The next morning, Charlie slipped on his new treasure. And just like that, whoosh, the world changed. Colours bloomed around people like glowing clouds. The rushing rooster zipped past Charlie on his bicycle, surrounded by a frantic swirl of green. "Aha! Late for something," Charlie giggled. Mr. Pig was glowing a bright, romantic pink, leaning close to Mrs. Pig with a bouquet of daisies. But Mrs. Pig? She shimmered in dreamy lavender, her thoughts filled with cupcakes instead. Seeing feelings was so fun, Charlie thought. On the bus, Charlie spotted a little monkey sitting quietly while an old tired goat stood beside him. How rude, the monkey should have given his seat to Mr. Old Goat, Charlie muttered at first. But then he peeked through his glasses and saw a soft red mist circling the monkey's head. "Oh!" Charlie's eyebrows lifted. "He's not rude. He's feeling sick. Things sometimes are not what they look like." And just like that, Charlie was starting to understand something new. When Charlie went back to the dream factory, something didn't feel right. Usually the factory was full of humming, laughing, and busy little sounds. But now it was quiet. Too quiet. There were only soft whispers floating through the air, like everyone was nervous. Someone said that the first dream had gone missing, the most special and important dream crystal in the whole factory. The lion stood up tall. His mane was even puffier than usual. He kept saying that it was Owl who stole it. He said Owl never really talked to anyone and always stayed quiet, so he must be hiding something. Some animals nodded and some didn't say anything at all. Owl just stood quietly in the corner. He didn't say a word. His feathers were a bit messy and his eyes looked down at the floor. Charlie felt funny in his tummy. He looked at Owl, then looked at everyone else. Everyone seemed so sure it was Owl. But Charlie wasn't so sure. Then he remembered the little monkey on the bus. At first, the monkey looked rude, but when Charlie used the glasses, he saw the truth. So Charlie reached into his pocket and put on the special glasses. Right away, the whole factory looked different. Around each animal, soft glowing colours appeared, floating gently like bubbles in the air. Owl was covered in a quiet blue mist. It looked like he was sad and maybe a little bit hurt. But when Charlie looked at the lion, it was another story. The lion had a dark, stormy glow around him, like a cloud full of secrets. Charlie's heart beat faster. He didn't wait. He tiptoed to the lion's workstation and carefully peeked underneath. And there it was, the first dream crystal. Charlie turned to the others and pointed at the lion's bench. He told everyone that Owl didn't take the crystal. It was the lion. The animals all gathered around. The lion's eyes opened wide. Then he ran across the room, knocking over tools and boxes, trying to escape. Just as he was about to jump through the window, Owl flew up high and blocked the way with his big wings. The lion stopped, slipped, and fell to the floor. A moment later, the planet's guardian arrived in a shiny flying airship. The guardians took the lion inside. As the airship lifted into the sky, the lion shouted something about shadowhood and failing again, but no one really understood what he meant. Back in the factory, everyone looked at Owl. He turned to Charlie and thanked him. Owl said that Charlie hadn't just guessed. He had looked carefully and noticed what was really going on. Charlie felt proud. He gently took off the glasses and placed them on the table. Then something magical happened. The glasses started to glow. They slowly changed shape until they became a shiny little badge with a letter D on it. It stood for discernment, the special power of understanding how others feel and what is really true. In the far corner of the factory, a tiny shadow curled up on the wall. It whispered to itself about the places it had failed: Catlantis, Whisperwood, and now the first dream. "We will never give up," the shadow seared. Then, like a puff of smoke, the shadow left like it never had been here. Soon, the dream factory felt normal again. The humming sounds came back, the lights sparkled, and the dream crystals glowed gently in their places. Charlie helped tidy up, and as he walked out with Owl beside him, the little emblem glowed in his pocket. It reminded him that sometimes, when things feel confusing or someone acts in a way we don't understand, we just need to slow down and look a little deeper, not just with our eyes, but with our hearts. Good night, little one. Sleep tight. May you have an amazing dream tonight. And a kind remember, Luna will meet you in the next bedtime story.